Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our noontime broadcast here from Optimum Ed. I'm Tom Leahy, the managing partner, and we're excited to have Michelle Williby with us today. She is an independent insurance broker and financial advisor, and we're going to talk with her in just a second about a very important subject dear to everyone's heart, especially parents that have kids who are getting ready to graduate from college, walking away with college debt. So, once we've done everything we can up front to plan better about direction, the right, college fit, the right college major, all of that, done what we can to maximize assistance with the free stuff, scholarships, grants, and that sort of thing. Obviously, for most families, some part of it is going to be of education today because the cost is going to be financed. But we need to be able to manage that because we don't want that hanging around our students' neck for 20 years of their life, which is happens in a lot of cases. So, Michelle, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. I know you're doing a great thing with Optimum Ed, helping out tons of families through this process. It's complicated if you know what you're doing, and just very, very complicated if you're kind of going in blindly. So thanks for having me. I'm happy to answer any questions and show you what's helping me personally and what I'm watching help other families as well with specifically college debt.
Wonderful. Yeah. So let's talk about that, and maybe you can provide a little insight into your perspective and how you help families and students do that. Today the average college student walks away from college with around 39,000 or so in college debt. That's the latest numbers that I'm seeing. So what is it that you can share? I mean, what's the secret sauce here, Michelle? What do families need to know?
Well, that's the thing. It might be hidden, but it's certainly not secret. This is just a strategy using centuries old financial institutions to just really take more control and over the money that you have and try to protect it for your children. This is also a strategy that enables young people starting as 18 be able to effectively manage their student debt and learn how to save and invest for the future, and then watch that debt decrease at the same time they're watching their accumulate wealth. So it's actually quite simple and quite amazing. And sometimes people are like, "Are you sure? Is this a thing?" It's a thing, and I'm happy about it. I've actually done it in my own life. I'm going to go ahead and just put it all out there. My college financing was a nightmare. I know I'm not the only one who went to college and then said, maybe not for me. And then years later, when I was ready to go back and finish, parents were like, okay, well, that's off the table. So took out more loans, did that for a little while, paid it down a little bit, then went back to grad school. So everybody's broken road. It's not always efficient. Sometimes students take a little bit longer to get in and out of college. And I know that's what your focus is, to make sure that doesn't happen, because that's just a huge roadblock, but it does. So you have frustrated parents and frustrated grads that can't manage this debt now that it's finished.
Even worse, there are a large percentage of students who never finish college, but yet have that debt that they've accumulated while they were attempting to go down that road, which just makes it even more important to be able to help them figure that out. And from what you're saying, I'm guessing that this, like a lot of other things, takes some prior planning.
Well, actually, it does not. So, in a nutshell, I'm going to go back to what you said. Latest, as of 2021, it's about $39,000. Everybody's graduating with debt. So let's think about the perfect planner, what everybody tries to do. Everybody that's the young people that are graduating high school this year, they're born around 2000, maybe a little bit after 2003. So if I'm beginning to save for my college, for my children's college education, which generally starts when they're born, hopefully. Sometimes we have grandparents that get in on it and try to get things, the ball rolling, and you're not able to save as much as you would like. But when I'm looking at the cost, when I'm thinking about saving for my children's college, I can promise you that, I've got one graduating next year, and 18 years ago, the thought that it would cost this much wasn't even, it wasn't even on my mind. So sometimes even when you do save, and you do the best that you can, it still costs more. Or you save for a public university and your child gets accepted into their dream school, and you're not going to say, no, we don't have the money. You're going to do everything that you possibly can to do it. So part of it is being proactive, and that would be saving. Another thing that we talk about with this strategy is being able to control the debt once you have it. So as soon as you start this strategy, you're able to have your dollar do more than one thing at one time. You're not having to worry about if you should save for the future, if it's whether it's through savings at 529. You're not worried about how you're having to manage debt or try to pay some of that debt while your child is in school. And then you're not going to be as stressed when you realize that you don't have a 15, 20, 25-year debt to pay off after they've graduated from their favorite college in the whole world and then decided, to maybe go do something that didn't have anything to do with their degree. So we look at it from the context that your dollar could do more than one job at one time. And I feel that if everybody knew that, they would certainly be making different decisions with their dollars, because obviously we're trying to make our money stretch, but it can only stretch so far. And if we're looking at the increase in the cost of college tuition up until now, I don't want to put any of my hopes or all of my eggs in one basket that it's, going to somehow fix itself in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And when you bring in inflation and how much everything costs now, it's just going to be unachievable to walk into a university and tell your child it's 100% taken care of, because you really don't even know what the cost can be.
Right.
So we just really try to attack it from all angles. And then through financial education, we are able to show college graduates or even high school graduates before they get there how to effectively manage their money and generate real wealth for their own life and retirement. So you are just incorporating all of these concepts that seem super difficult when you're thinking about investing. I don't know many 22-year-olds, they're thinking about how much money they're going to start making once they hit the road running, but there's not a lot of them that are already thinking about retirement. And then some of them enter into jobs that they don't have access to a 401k. So I'm just showing people that you don't have to go down the same path of accepting all of this debt and then being stressed and try to pay it off. It's much more simple, efficient, and faster than a lot of people realize.
Okay, that makes perfectly good sense. It, in fact, makes probably too much sense for a lot of people to engage. But let's assume people understand that they need to do this. When is the best time for them to have that conversation with you?
Anytime.
Anytime.
You know this is as well as I do. It's never too soon to start getting ready.
Okay.
And the second you think that you might need to take control and start managing whatever budget it is, let's start the conversation, not just with the parents, but with the children as well, because they need to understand how to manage their debt and manage their money as well. We can't just allow them to let this debt roll off on everybody else's back, because you end up with a lot of frustrated people thinking that they've done the right thing, thinking that they're working hard, they've gone to school, they made the grades, they got the job. How is it that I ended up with this little bit of debt and thought I did well getting my college tuition paid for, and all of a sudden 5 years later, I'm deferring the loans or I can't handle it, and it's exploded into larger debt. So part of it, like Optimum Ed does through financial education, through education about the processes of choosing and picking and finding schools and getting into them, paying for that process and getting through it confidently and unscathed for the most part is just as important, because there's a lot of people out there that thought graduating with their dream degree was going to propel them into a stress-less situation, and that doesn't often happen.
Okay, so let me ask the question in a different way. Is it ever too late to come and talk to you?
It is not too late. So my job is to show people how they can take their exact same budget that they have. One, not telling you to start couponing. You don't have to start feeding the children beans and rice every single day because you're trying to squirrel away extra money. I'm not saying stop going out to eat with the family. This don't get a side gig. This is 100%. Let's look at everybody's budget. Take exactly what you have, the money that you have right now, the funds that you're already using, and reallocate them in a way so that your money is earning it's earning interest, it's being able to be saved for retirement, and you're able to recycle that same dollar to create a debt snowball and effectively wipe out your debt. And for the most part, anybody that had 25 or 30 years worth of debt, which is generally what we all do as soon as you enter into a mortgage, everything just keeps, you pay off one car, you end up needing another one. You all know how it is. So on average, we can take a family with the same exact income that they have right now and have all of their bills completely paid off, mortgage, student debt, cars, all of it, in average 9 years or less. I think maybe one or two people have gone to 10 or 11 years. So it's never too late. It's up to the individual how long they would like to continue being strangled by these interests and debt and stress. It's just an effective strategy to help everybody lead a little bit less stressful life.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of parents that need to contact you and have a conversation. So how do they do that?
I would love to. So my name is Michelle Williby. I'm an independent broker. I'm with Williby Financial. You can email me at michelle@willibyfinancial.com, or you can call me 804-893-0394. And we would really love to sit down and speak with the parents, but also bring the children in, the young people in. I know you know how important that is, so that they understand the concept. They see how they're able to contribute and expedite the debt management process. And it also helps them more effectively plan for their own future, because essentially what we want as productive communities are, we want our children to go to school so that they can learn something and give back to their community and be productive, people in society. And when people are laden with this debt that they felt like they were incurring for a good reason, it just turns kind of a good thing into not a bad thing. It's never a bad thing to go to college, but it certainly puts a lot of stress on people. And I know that it's a huge conversation right now, and we are just excited to keep talking to people and showing them how simple it is and risk-free, and how you can just use these same concepts that have been used for 150 years on yourself, regardless of what budget you have.
It sounds like between Williby Financial and Optimum Ed, parents can have it made in the shade here. So
there's a lot of them I know wish that they had your guidance.
So, reach out to Michelle and have a conversation. If you want to talk to us, our website's optimaedcenter.com. You can contact us in that way. We're going to leave it with that. Michelle, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And everybody, thank you. And we'll see you next Thursday at noon. Take care, everybody.
Sounds good.